our way too early college football playoff picks and early national champions. So let's start with you. What four teams do you have making the college football playoff this year?
All right, I'll go by conference here. Georgia, I know, has the most proven roster. A new quarterback, but I don't think quarterback's been what's winning them championships lately. Stetson Bennett was great, but I think that defense will carry them, and I think it will again. So give me Georgia as the 1 seed.
Okay.
And then as a 2 seed, I'm going to go – I know I picked against Ohio State in the Big Ten, and we all picked Penn State to potentially do it. But I took Michigan ultimately over Penn State, with Penn State getting second. So I'll stick Michigan at the 2 seed. And then as the 3 seed, this is where it gets interesting, because if Southern Cal, goes out on a bang in the Pac-12, I think that they would be the clear pick there. But I think there's going to be a little bit of, controversy on the way out of the Pac-12. I don't think anybody gets out of there undefeated.
Ooh.
And I don't think the committee will want to have 2 SEC teams play in the first round. So I'm going to go with the SEC runner-up. Yeah, wait for it. LSU Tigers at number 3.
Oh.
And then number 4, I'm actually going to go with the ACC champion. I think Florida State can lose to LSU as long as they beat Clemson twice, which I think they'll do. So I'm going to go Florida State 4.
Okay, I like it. Neil, let's go you next. What do you got?
Okay, it's going to be kind of similar to Wade's, but I've got Michigan at 1.
Okay.
Because I think they're going to win the Big Ten pretty easily. I think they're returning a lot of solid guys. My number 2 was going to be LSU. I think LSU has a great season. They'll beat Georgia and Atlanta, which I think going into Atlanta, Georgia is going to be number 1, and then they'll end up losing to us, and then we're going to end up sliding up to 2 there.
I like
it. In which case, I've got USC at 3. Because, again, I'm playing the kind of committee acts. They won't want a rematch of LSU and Georgia first round of the playoffs. They won't want that. So USC will take the slot at 3, then Georgia at 4. That's mine. Based on that,
I like it.
Okay. Yeah. Tyler, fantasy football expert, what's your college football playoff prediction?
Man, I'm not liking all this LSU already in the playoff, because that's what I had.
Hey, the path is there, man.
But I might have to back off. I know that Chet's going to have LSU in, so I'm going to have Georgia as the 1 seed to not have everybody else in the SEC come after our channel. So I'm going to go with Georgia. I think that if you look at their regular season schedule, it's pretty much a walk in the park outside of Tennessee. They're not really going to be challenged, and then they get South Carolina at home. I know that with Carson Beck, there are some question marks, but that defense just continues to get better and better every year. So I think they're going to go 12-0 through that regular season schedule. I think that number 2 seed, I'm going to go with Jacob's boys. I think that Penn State finally breaks through. No longer Sean Clifford is there. I think that this quarterback coming in, along with Nick Singleton, he's one of the best running backs in the country. I think that everybody's all talking about Michigan, but Penn State hosts Michigan in Happy Valley. I think that's definitely going to help them. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. Michigan's going to have one of the best defenses in the country. Might even have the best defense in the country, especially what they're returning onto the defensive front. Number 3, I'm going to go with Washington. I think that, the Pac-12 is their last breath. I think that Washington, they have Oregon and Utah at home. They host them. They avoid USC this year. So I think that Washington with Michael Penix Jr. in that defense could either go undefeated in our 11-1 season. I think that, with their schedule that they have, they could definitely do it. And I think that at number 4, I'm going to have another Big Ten team. I think that Michigan is going to go 11-1. I still think that they're going to sneak in. So I think it's either going to come down to the ACC champion of Florida State being 11-1 and Michigan being 11-1. But I think I got to give the nod to the Wolverines, especially with all the Michigan fans coming after us. So don't want to leave Michigan out of the playoff.
So 2 Big Ten teams in the playoff.
Yep.
Is that a first in its history?
It's typically we had it last year with Michigan and Ohio State.
My bad. It's typically – I already forgot about it. It's typically multiple SEC teams. But, yeah, two Big Ten teams.
But they both lost last year. So
exactly. So SEC reigns dominant. So I'm going my number 1 seed, I'm going Michigan this year. I think they pretty much finished the season undefeated. I think I took Penn State in the Big Ten matchup or breakdown, but I'm going Michigan. Number 2, no surprise, it's the flag behind me. I'm going with our boys at LSU. I think they'll ultimately win the SEC West, win the SEC championship. They have too many playmakers to not make it happen. Phenomenal defense, and Jane Daniels, year 2 under Brian Kelly, I think he's really going to show out. He's made some improvements in the offseason, moving the ball downfield, not relying on his legs all the time, but he does have his legs to make magic happen, right? Number 3, Tyler, I'm going with you. I'm going Washington out of the Pac-12. I'm thinking Michael Penix Jr. actually wins the Heisman this year.
Yep, I'm calling it now. He's winning the Heisman.
Yeah, so timestamp this 56 minutes on August 20th on Sports Scramble Podcast, episode 70. Michael Penix Jr. wins the Heisman.
You got 2 votes right here.
Yeah, exactly. We get votes. We're sports media now. And then the 4 seed, I think they lose their opening game to LSU, but it's the ACC, so then I think they still get in. Florida State. So only reason I didn't pick Georgia is because every year Georgia has one of those games where they're a little shaky. Like last year they had Missouri. Right? I think this year, it's South Carolina. First SEC game. I know it's at home for Georgia, but I think South Carolina comes in there into the between the hedges and just shocks Athens and sends good old Carson Beck home crying, which I wanted to get to. Carson Beck was named the starter today. There's some memes floating around about his hair, so look that up on the old X. If you will.
His hair and other things.
Yes, exactly. I see it too, Tyler. So, who makes it? All right, we picked playoff. Who's your national champion? Wade.
All right. This is tough. I really think it could be Michigan. I think that Michigan and Georgia are very similar teams. But yeah, winning 3 in a row would just be ridiculous, but they could do it. But yeah, I'm going to go with Michigan. I think things are lining up well for them. Jim Harbaugh is not going to be suspended, so you won't have that wrinkle. You do have a really good quarterback returning and McCarthy, so I think that they have the edge over Georgia there. And then at what point does Georgia run out of town on defense? I don't know. It's rhetorical. It could be this year. It could be next year. It could be never. But I like those 2 teams for sure to get to the playoffs, so I feel most confident going with one of them. So I'm going to go with Michigan just because I don't think Georgia can do it 3 times, but I don't know if that's a good enough reason.
Okay, Neil, who's your pick to host the trophy?
I am sticking with what I told you guys 2 years ago, right before I left the program. LSU's going to win it this year. I said we would win it last year, but I had a lot of faith in us winning it this year. I'm sticking to it. I think the talent's there. Coaching's there. I think this is the year.
All right, I'm with you, Neil. My pick's LSU as well. Not biased, right? Tyler, who's your pick?
Oh, I'm biased. Y'all know that.
I feel like everyone's not really going all chalk here, so I don't want to go Georgia. So I'm going to go a little fun pick. If I'm going all in on this team, I might as well go all in. I think that Washington wins the national championship this year.
All right,
Heisman.
I'm stamping again.
All right, yeah, we're gonna look.
Michael Penix wins the Heisman, and they win. I think it would be great. The end of the Pac-12 and the Pac-12 team wins it before everything else goes to crap. I want it to happen, so I might as well root for them. So UW gets it done.
So we're gonna gain some Washington fans on the channel.
Yes, come on in. I love their stadium. It's one of the best stadiums in the country that doesn't get talked about.
Hey, I love watching. I love watching Grey's Anatomy up there in Washington.
That stadium is amazing. I got to visit it back in. I got to visit it back in 2015.
It's going to be beautiful when they hoist a trophy, and I'm going to be right.
I'm not going that far, but
no, I've seen it.
Beautiful.
I've seen it in Grey's Anatomy. It's a wonderful stadium, wonderful show. Has Washington found a new home yet?
Yeah, they're in the Big Ten.
Okay. Yep. So they're moving on with Oregon.
The Big 18.
All right. We'll have to come up with a new
Big Ten on CBS.
We'll come up with a new name for that. As you can see, a lot of the Twitter pictures based on you have a circle in the northwest circle in the southwest, and then a long circle that goes out to the
I
Midwest.
saw
So,
that. Did you see the one for the Big 12? I feel like the plane is just lost and it's like I don't know where to go at this point. They go into Florida, then you got to go all the way up to West Virginia, you go all the way to Arizona, then the BYU. It's like golly, like screw geography anymore.
Hey,
It's
the
just-
schools
I
could
know.
just move cities like like the pro teams.
yeah, there you go.
Um,
Just pick up Washington and call them the Ohio Huskies. Just throw them
Yeah.
over there.
The Washington Huskies that
Relocation.
play in Ohio.
Right.
Put them in Ford Field. Or
They're going to be
something.
taking online classes anyways.
That is true. That is true. So that's our picks for the way too early national championship. Let us know in the comments what your picks are.